I-130 approved, I-485 pending, 2025 edition. Hi, I'm immigration attorney Jim Hacking, practicing law throughout the United States at our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, Washington, D.C., and Chicago, Illinois. USCIS is doing something interesting these days in 2025, and we wanted to bring it to your attention. Now, I had a caller to the Immigration Answer Show, which is a live show that I do on YouTube and other platforms, and he asked me, hey, Jim, my wife and I had our green card interview a few weeks back, and the officer told us that our case was approved and that we should be getting a green card in about 4 to 6 weeks. But as time has gone by since the interview, the portal says that the I-130 has been approved. So in other words, USCIS has concluded that both the man and the woman were eligible to marry and that they were legally married and that it was a real marriage that wasn't entered into in order to obtain an immigration benefit. Everything's good on the marriage. So the I-130 has been approved, but the I-485 has been paused. There's been no ruling on the I-485. I believe in my heart of hearts that there is a new memo or new procedures at USCIS that is requiring officers to sit on 485s. They're giving the appearance of moving cases forward. In fact, it seems that in many, many cases, the interviews are coming very, very quickly. So for the last 3 or 4 years, you would expect an interview in about 8-9 months and then a decision shortly thereafter. Now the interviews are happening sooner, but the decisions are taking the same amount of time or longer. Now, this person wanted to know, Jim, is there something wrong with my case? Is there a reason why they're sitting on my adjustment of status application? And again, I don't think it's personal. When this first started happening again, I thought that maybe there was something about the beneficiary, the person from the foreign country who's applying for lawful permanent resident status. I thought that there was probably some issue that USCIS thought might make that immigrant inadmissible to the United States and therefore not eligible for a green card in the United States. And as we saw these sort of trickle in, we started to think that, oh, well, maybe they're giving a little bit more scrutiny, or maybe there's something in our clients' files or the people that I talk to on my show's files that are keeping USCIS from actually deciding and giving lawful permanent resident status. Remember, I don't care at all what the online portal says, what they tell you at the interview, what information you've been provided by USCIS. I don't even really care that the I-130 has been approved, because at the end of the day, what we're talking about is, did I get my green card or not? Everything else is window dressing. Everything else is just theater. And the whole question is, do I have lawful permanent resident status in the United States? Has my green card been approved? So it's nice that for this fellow and many, many others that USCIS goes ahead and approves the I-130. But the whole shooting match, the big kahuna, what we are after is the green card itself. So you've got to keep your eyes on the prize, and you've got to ask yourself, why hasn't my green card been approved? So I think for a lot of people, it leads to some extra scrutiny of their application, a little bit more self-doubt, and a little bit more wondering, what's wrong with my case? Why hasn't my case been approved? And I think in a small set of cases, that concern and that extra scrutiny on your end is warranted. But at the end of the day, I believe that as we sit here now, when I make this video towards the end of June 2025, halfway through the year and 5 months into the Trump administration, it seems that there's a policy or things going on at USCIS. It might be extra background checks. It might be extra scrutiny. It might just be them trying to gum up the process altogether. It could be that every case has to receive supervisor review. So there's lots of different reasons why we're seeing in 2025 the split between I-130s getting approved and I-485s sitting. So I anticipate that in the months to come, our office will be filing more of our mandamus lawsuits to try to get a decision from USCIS. I think a lot of this is posturing on their part. I think a lot of it is that Trump and Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon and all of the people at USCIS and Homeland Security want to slow down legal immigration to the United States. And if they can mess with people, make them uncomfortable, make them feel unwelcome, that's all the better. So I think that you shouldn't read too much into it. I don't think it's personal. I don't think in 80% of the cases, 70% of the cases, that it actually has anything to do with your case. I think this is a new thing that they're doing to, again, slow down legal immigration and conduct a whole lot more extra scrutiny. If you're thinking about applying for a marriage-based green card or any kind of immigration benefit and you would like our help, or at least to talk about working with our office, what the legal fees would be and what that would look like moving forward, feel free to give us a call, 314-961-8200. Email us, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Again, that's for people who are thinking about actually hiring us to be their law firm. For everybody else, we offer, I think, more free resources on the internet than anybody else. We have our Immigrant Home Facebook group where there's 15,000 people answering questions, talking about immigration. I jump in there and try to answer questions when I can. We have our TikTok channel where I try to make fun and interesting immigration videos that you can find at Immigration Hacking on TikTok. We have YouTube, and you can subscribe to our channel whenever we make a new video. If you turn on your alerts, you'll get alerted. And we also host our Immigration Answer Show there. So that's a live call-in show where you can call and ask about your case or about your situation or an immigration concept, and I'm happy to answer that. I do that show 3 or 4 times a week. You can find out about that by joining the Facebook group, subscribing to the YouTube channel, or you can text the word SHOW, S-H-O-W, to 314-470-3300, and you'll receive a text when the waiting room gets open so that you can ask me a question, and we can go from there. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you on the next video.